Hello dear students, welcome to online classes. So in previous classes we have studied lesson number 4 from Moment in the Kingdom of Fools, and I hope you have understood all the characters and the gist of the story, okay. And this is a Kannada folk tale and it is written by A.K. Ramanujan. So I just want to give you a recap of this chapter, okay. Recap means a small hint, okay. So this is a story of a kingdom where two people means king and minister. So they both were fool, they both were intelligent, they both were not intelligent. So according to that, they were just following their own rules, okay. So what they have decided that they will change the rule of nature. They have changed everything what other king and ministers were doing at that time. So what they have done means they have changed the night into day, day into night, okay. Means all the people who are belong to that city, that kingdom, they have to follow the rules and regulations according to the king. Means they have to wake up at night and sleep at daytime. They have to start their work at night time, and they have to go to their fields at night time. They have to run their business at night time. Means everything what they were doing at daytime they have to do at night according to the new rule of the king. And if anybody is not following, if anybody is disobeying this, so they will be punished. So according to that only, so because of fear only, they had to follow the rules and regulations of the king. So one day what happened, the two strangers, guru and disciple, they entered and they wandered to see that nobody is waking and everybody is sleeping at that time. Even cattle also, means animals also, even means it seems that they are taught to sleep at daytime. So at evening time they have purchased, because they were very hungry, they had purchased and they went to purchase groceries. And they cooked and they had eaten, and after that the guru realized that this is no place for them. Means this is very harmful, anything could be happen at any time. So he advised to his disciple, but his disciple was not ready to leave that place, because he wanted whatever he wanted, he was getting at a very cheap cost and very same price. Means he was easily getting. So he was not ready to leave, and he left. Guru went away from there. He left that place and he went. Then he was enjoying eating, and by eating he became very fat, and he was just looking like a street bull. Then what happened, one day a thief made a hole into wall, and he was just trying to burgling, and he got success also. But when he was returning from there, the rich merchant's house, so the wall was fallen on him and he was killed over there. So the brother of thief complained to the king about the thief's rich merchant's wall, and the king summoned the merchant. But merchant came and he gave clarification about that, what happened with the wall. Means it was not his mistake, it was mistake of bricklayer. Then bricklayer was summoned by the king. The bricklayer also gave his clarification that it was not his mistake, it was the mistake of the dancing girl who distracted his mind, and because of that he made a very bad wall. Then again the goldsmith the dancing girl was summoned. The dancing girl was going to get punishment. So at the same time she requested to the king that it was not her fault, it was the fault of goldsmith, who was just calling her again and again, and because of that she made a lot of round of that street. So because of that it was distracted to that poor bricklayer. So again goldsmith was called. The goldsmith was trying to hide himself in the corner of the shop, so he was just brought over into the palace of the king. And again he had also given his own story. He told that it was not his mistake, it was the mistake of the rich merchant who had given order to prepare to make a jewelry for them, because in his family there was a marriage, so because of that only he was preparing, and he had given so many excuses to the dancing girl because he had not prepared at the same time. So because of that only she was just coming and going like that. Okay, so once again the goldsmith just named the rich merchant, means he just wanted to know, the king wanted to know that who is the person behind this incident, behind this accident. Okay, so he just wanted to know, he was very curious. So he asked to the goldsmith that tell me the name of the rich merchant. So the rich merchant was no other than the person who belonged to that house, that person only, the rich merchant only. Okay, nobody was there. So the rich merchant was the person who is the responsible for that, and again he was called, again he was summoned into the palace of the king, and again he was before to the king, and this time he was crying and he said that I am very innocent, I am very poor, it was not my fault, it was my parents' fault, my father's fault, but he is no more, so why are you calling me and why are you going to give me punishment? So let's see what happened after that. But the king consulted his minister and ruled decisively, it's true, your father is the true murderer. He is dead, but somebody must be punished in his place. And after that, after listening the all four evidence story, what they had given, what they had told to the king. So after listening and after consulting between the minister and king, so he consulted and he ruled and he said that yes, it is true, it's not your mistake, it's your father's mistake. So according to that, your father is murderer. According to that, your father is murderer, but your father is no more. Your father is not there, your father is dead. So in place of him, somebody must be punished. Somebody must be punished. So for that, you are inherited everything from that criminal father of yours, his riches as well as his sins. So whatever your father had done, if he had done good things, that you are taking profit. If he had done sin, so that also you have to take. So whatever the things your father had done, you are taking. So here also, in place of him, as your father is murderer, so you will be punished, because your father is criminal, because your father had done something, that he had made a very weak wall by the bricklayer. So because of that only, very poor people was die. I knew at once, even when I first set eyes on you, that you were at the root of his horrible crime. You must die. Here the king said, at the beginning, I just keep eye on you, and I found that only you are the people who is responsible for this incident, this horrible crime. You must die. You must die. And he ordered a new stake to be made ready for the execution. And he ordered a new stake to be made ready for the execution. As the servants sharpened the stake and got it ready for the final impaling of the criminal, it occurred to the minister that the rich merchant was somehow too thin to be properly executed on the stake. Now, the king ordered a new stake to be made for the execution. Means he just wanted to give a punishment to that merchant. So because of that, he ordered a stake to give a punishment to the merchant. So he ordered. So as the servant sharpened the stake and got it ready for the final impaling of the criminal, when there was a sharpening, so what they found, it occurred to the minister. It occurred to the minister that the rich merchant was somehow too thin to be properly executed on the stake. So what the minister found? The minister found that rich merchant was very thin, and he was not properly fit in that stick. So what he said that he appealed to the king's common sense. The king too worried about it. Now when he told each and everything about this, means for the stick there should be healthy man, but he was not healthy, he was very thin. When he told to the king, so the king was also very worried about it, because they wanted to give punishment so that the thief's family get justice. So because of that he was very worried, and he said, what shall we do? He said, what shall we do? When suddenly it struck him that all they needed to do was to find a man fat enough to fit the stick. Then the king asked the minister, what shall we do now? Just give me an idea. So all were thinking. Then suddenly it struck him that all they needed to do was to find a man who was a fat and who was fit for the stick. And now you can guess that who was very fat in that city. Disciple. Okay. So he ordered to his bailiffs, he ordered to his minister that you just go and find out a fat person who should be fit in that stick. And then what happened then? The servants were immediately sent all over the town looking for a man who would fit the stick. And their eyes fell on the disciple who had fattened himself for months on bananas and rice and wheat and ghee. Now, see, the result came here. Oh, okay. So, the worry is over here. The king's worry is over here. Why? Because when he ordered, just go and find out the fat man who would be fit in the stick. So, the servants of the king, they just took a round of the city and they found a very fat man. And who was that fat man? The disciple himself, who had fattened himself for months on bananas. Means he was just eating bananas, ghee, rice, means everything, because everything he was getting a very cheap cost, very cheap price. So he became very fat, and then see that what happened. What have I done wrong? I am innocent, I am sannyasi, he cried. When he was caught by the soldiers, servants, so he just started crying. And what he said, what have I done? What have I done wrong? Means what I have done. I am innocent, I am sannyasi, I have done nothing. Why are you catching me? Where are you taking me? So he was just crying and he was just looking for something. That may be true. That may be true, but it's the royal decree that we should find a man fat enough to fit the stick, they said, and carried him to the palace of execution. Okay. What you were saying, it may be true. You are true. You are not culprit. You are not guilty. You are true. You have not done anything. I believe, I agreed. But it's the order of our king that just go and find out a fat man who would be fit for the stick. So because of that only we found you that you are very fat, and because of that we are taking to you to the palace. Okay. So they just carried him where? To the palace of execution. Okay. He remembered his wise guru's words. Then he remembered when his guru was leaving him. So he said that it is a city of fools. Means it is a kingdom of fools. This is not for safe place for us. Okay. So this is a city of fools. You don't know what they will do next. While he was waiting for death, he prayed to his guru in his heart, asking him to hear his cry wherever he was. Okay. So when he was at execution. So at that time he remembered his guru's word, what his guru said to him. His guru said to him that it is the kingdom of fools, and what will happen next to you, you don't know. Even if you are right, even if you are right, and if you are going to prove yourself that you have done nothing, then also nobody will believe you that you have done something wrong. So please leave this place. But he did not obey, he did not agree, and he lived there. So because of that, now only he was going to get punishment without doing any mistake. So when he was waiting for his death, as he did nothing, then also he was waiting for his death. So at the same time, he just prayed to his guru in his heart, asking him to hear his cry wherever he was. Means he was just praying, to his guru, so that he could hear his voice, and he could save his life. The guru saw everything in vision. He had magic powers. He could see far, and he could see the future as he could see the present and the past. You know very well that guru, how the guru is. So here, guru, when he was just praying, when the disciple was praying to his guru, so he saw in his vision, because he had a magical power, he had a magical power, and because of that power, he found that his disciple was in a very dangerous situation. Okay, and you know what? He could see far, he could see future also, he could see present, he could see, means anything, past, future, present, everything he could see, because he had a magical power. Okay, he arrived at once to save his disciple, who had got himself into such a scrap through love of food. It was his mistake. Actually, he didn't know that one day he will be punished. He will get punishment of his love of food. So now he arrived, means the king, when the king ordered to give him execution, so at the same time the guru arrived over there to save his disciple, because he knew very well about his disciple that one day he will be struck in the love of food, and here he was struck. Okay. As soon as he arrived, he scolded the disciple and told him something in a whisper. Then he went to the king and addressed him, "O wisest of kings, who is greater, the guru or the disciple?" When the guru arrived over there, so first of all he scolded his disciple and told him something in whisper, so that everybody will get curious to know that what guru said to him, as the death is very near to him. Okay, then he went to the king and addressed him, "O wisest of kings." See, the first thing is that he buttered, as he knew very well about him that he is a very foolish, very idiot people in the world. But what he said, "O wisest of kings, who is greater, disciple, the guru or disciple?" Of course, the guru, no doubt about it. "Why do you ask? Then put me to the stake first, put my disciple to death after me." Then the king replied, "Of course, guru. Of course, guru, because guru teaches everything. The guru teaches the reality, guru teaches the truth. So because of that only he said, "Yes, of course, guru." Then the guru said, "Okay, now just put me to the stake first. Then you can put my disciple after my death." What is the reason why he had said? What was the problem? And did king agree here? We will get to know in next class. Okay? Thank you so much.